If every visit leaves you feeling small, drained, or disrespected, it's not your fault. After 60, your time, energy, and peace are sacred. In the next few minutes, I'll show you 5 kinds of people you must avoid and how doing so can immediately boost your happiness, confidence, and emotional health. 1. The constant critic. People who subtly tear you down. It starts with a joke, a little remark about your outfit or how slow you walk these days. You're getting old. Huh. They chuckle. You smile politely. But inside, something tenses up. Because deep down, it's not just teasing. It's a pattern. As we age, we become more aware of how people make us feel. And those who consistently criticize us, no matter how subtle, begin to chip away at our self-worth. You might leave their home feeling worse than when you arrived, less confident, less valued. But the real damage, it's what you start believing about yourself after enough of these visits. Take Barbara, 73, for years. She visited a longtime friend every weekend, but after each visit, she'd return home heavy-hearted. Her friend would joke about her weight, her cooking, her hobbies, always with a smile, always followed by, "I'm just kidding." Barbara brushed it off until one day. She didn't. She realized her confidence was fading, not from age, but from proximity to someone who disguised criticism as care. She chose to step back, and in the weeks that followed, she felt lighter, more herself, more whole, because she'd reclaimed her dignity from someone who never truly saw her. True friends don't leave bruises on your spirit, they build you up, not wear you down. 2. The one-way street. People who always ask, but never give. Helping someone once or twice, that's kindness. But when someone's entire relationship with you is built on taking and never giving, it becomes emotional labor. Robert, 76, knows this all too well. Every time he visited his old buddy Jim, there was a task waiting, a faucet to fix, furniture to move. Always one quick thing. Robert didn't mind at first. Helping made him feel useful. But months passed, then years, and Jim never once offered help in return. Not when Robert needed a ride, not when he fell ill, not even a call to check in. That's when Robert realized this wasn't friendship. It was quiet exploitation. Robert felt used, not maliciously, but carelessly. As though his time, energy, and goodwill were expected, but not valued. So, he stopped showing up. And the calls stopped too. That told him everything. Your time is a gift, and as you grow older, you must protect it. Generosity is beautiful, but only when it flows both ways. Love doesn't keep score, but it also doesn't run you dry. 3. The door half closed. People who make you feel unwelcome. You've probably felt it before. You walk into someone's home, and the energy shifts. They glance at the clock. Their words are short. Their eyes avoid yours. You sit, they stand. You talk, they check their phone. This isn't warmth. This isn't welcome. This is tolerance at best and rejection at worst. Shirley, 78, felt it every time she visited her sister. Once close, their visits had become cold. Her sister seemed distracted, distant. Conversations were brief, the atmosphere tense. Shirley blamed herself until she realized it wasn't about timing, it was about presence. After one particularly awkward lunch, Shirley stood at the doorway, unsure if she'd be invited back. That's when it clicked. She didn't feel at home in her sister's home anymore. She talked to her sister honestly, and to her surprise, her sister hadn't realized how distant she'd become. Their relationship improved, but only because Shirley spoke up. But not every story ends this way, and not every cold welcome deserves a second visit. You deserve to be in places where your arrival brings a smile, not a sigh. 4. The Whisper Network. People who gossip and spread negativity. It's tempting. The whispering, the drama, the secret details about someone's life. At first, it feels like connection, but quickly, it turns toxic. Margaret, 71, used to visit her neighbor Helen often. They'd sip tea and catch up on neighborhood news, but over time, Margaret noticed something. Every conversation was about someone else's flaws. Every visit left her uneasy, and slowly, she began wondering what Helen might say about her once she left the room. Gossip doesn't just harm others, it erodes your peace of mind. Margaret decided she wanted conversations that uplifted, not tore others down. She distanced herself from Helen, and in her place, found friends who talked about ideas, dreams, and shared joys. Gossip is cheap currency. It buys shallow bonds, but it costs your emotional clarity. Choose rooms where your character isn't the next topic on the table. 5. The value dismissers. People who undermine your beliefs. Our beliefs shape who we are. By 60, they've weathered decades of life. They are not decorations. They're foundations. But some people don't respect that. They mock your traditions, challenge your principles, laugh off your convictions as outdated. John, 74, had a friend like that. Frank. They shared a long history. But over the years, Frank changed. His lifestyle, his politics, his worldview. He didn't just disagree with John, he belittled him for thinking differently. John stayed silent for a while. But silence cost him peace. Every visit felt like a test, like walking into a courtroom where John was always on trial. Eventually, John spoke up. Frank didn't respond well, but John felt free to spend his time with people who honored his values. We don't need everyone to agree with us, but we need them to respect us. Never shrink yourself to fit into someone else's comfort zone. Final reflection. The older you get, the more precious your emotional real estate becomes. You don't owe anyone access to your energy. your heart, or your home. Barbara, Robert, Shirley, Margaret, and John didn't make radical changes overnight. They made small decisions, ones that reclaimed their dignity, one visit at a time. So can you. The people you visit shape the person you become. Choose wisely. The lesson: choose peace over obligation. What do all these stories have in common? They each reveal one universal truth as we get older. Our emotional peace becomes non-negotiable. The days of tolerating toxic visits, exhausting friendships, or subtle disrespect must come to an end. You are not being rude for protecting your peace. You're not selfish for declining visits that leave you drained. In fact, these boundaries are acts of wisdom and self-love. You have the right to choose kindness over criticism, reciprocity over one-sided effort, warmth over cold shoulders, and truth over gossip. Most importantly, you have the right to live your values without pressure to conform or compromise. Life after 60 is not about shrinking to fit into uncomfortable spaces. It's about creating space where your soul can stretch, breathe, and thrive. So here's what I want you to do today. Think about your recent visits. Did they leave you feeling seen or small? Reflect on your emotional state after spending time with certain people. Was it lightness or unease? Begin saying no to the visits that steal your peace, and yes to the ones that restore it. And if you need permission to make these changes, this is it. Comment below and share. Which type of person from today's video resonated with your experience, and how do you plan to protect your emotional space moving forward? If this video helped you reflect or brought clarity, please give it a like and subscribe. We're building a supportive space where every story honors your journey, your dignity, and your voice. Thank you for watching, and until next time, choose peace, protect your spirit, and always remember you are allowed to walk away from anything that no longer feels like home.